Hey everyone. So if you're working from home, you already know it's a constant battle for your attention, right? Well, today we are going to build the ultimate system to finally win that battle and really truly master the art of remote focus. Let's dive in.
We have all been there. The dream, the expectation of working from home is just pure freedom. But the reality? The reality is your kitchen table is now your desk, your pet is your neediest coworker, and that pile of laundry is just staring you down during important meetings. It's a total paradox, and it's exactly why having a deliberate system is so critical.
And before we even get to the laundry, there's this little guy, 96. That is the number of times, on average, we reach for our phones every single day. Each check creates these tiny little interruptions that completely shatter our concentration. It is a massive part of the problem.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to build a complete focus system from the inside out. We'll cover your mindset, your physical space, your daily strategy, and then, the most important part, how to make it all stick.
First things first, mastering your mental game. Because look, before you can control your environment, you have to get your own internal foundation right. Real deep focus. It starts in your head.
Let's just start with this core principle, because we've all been sold this myth of multitasking, but the truth is, our brains just are not built for it. Real productivity, the good stuff, it comes from deep, singular focus.
And this breaks down the science of what's actually happening. When you think you're multitasking, your brain is really just task switching. It's frantically jumping between jobs. This constant switching absolutely drains your mental battery, and research shows it can even temporarily lower your effective IQ. But single tasking, that allows you to get into that amazing flow state, and you end up producing much higher quality work with way less stress.
And of course, your brain can't perform without the right fuel. This isn't just about what you do during work hours. Things like getting quality sleep, eating your lunch away from your desk, and even changing out of your pajamas, these are all super powerful signals that prepare your mind for a focused day.
Okay, on to our second pillar, designing your focus zone. So once your mind is ready, you've got to craft an external environment that screams it's time to work to your brain.
Here's why having a dedicated space is so incredibly powerful. Your brain is an association machine. When you consistently work in just one spot, you're literally training it to switch into focus mode the second you sit down. That spot becomes an automatic trigger for productivity. Of course, distractions are everywhere, right? In an office, it might be noise and chatter. At home, it's family, pets, chores, you name it. But here's the key difference. At home, you have so much more control over managing those interruptions. And this is how you take back that control. You can create your own distraction-proof bubble. Noise-canceling headphones can be a lifesaver. A closed door becomes this universal do not disturb sign. And please, keep your space tidy. Clutter in your space just creates clutter in your mind. It's a non-negotiable. Okay, pillar 3. Our mind is ready, our space is prepared. Now it's time to build a strategic plan. This is where we get into the tactical, day-to-day systems you can use to structure your day for peak performance.
The Pomodoro. It's a classic for a reason. It is so powerful because it breaks down these huge, intimidating tasks into manageable little sprints. You work with intense focus for 25 minutes, then, and this is key, you take a short, mandatory break. This cycle is amazing for preventing burnout and keeping your mind fresh all day long.
Now think about this for a second. 23 minutes. That is the actual cost of a single interruption. So when you get a notification and you check it for just a second, what you're really doing is sacrificing nearly half an hour of productive time. So how in the world do we fight back? Well, the solution is to fight technology with technology. You can use apps like Freedom or Cold Turkey, which basically act as a digital bouncer for your computer, blocking distracting sites. Or you could try something like Forest, which gamifies your focus. If you stay on task, a little virtual tree grows. And a simple, low-tech option, just create separate browser profiles for work and personal use. It builds a simple wall against temptation. Now for a really fascinating psychological hack, body doubling. It's this simple idea that just having another person present, even silently, creates this sense of gentle accountability that makes it way easier to stay on task. We just naturally perform better when we feel like we're being seen.
And the best part is, you can totally do this remotely. Just schedule a silent co-working session with a friend on a video call. Or you can use a service like FocusMate that pairs you with a total stranger for a focused work block. I know it sounds a little strange, but it is surprisingly effective, especially for those tasks you've been putting off forever.
And that brings us to our final section, creating a sustainable system. This is where we tie everything we've talked about together, so we can turn these strategies from one-off tricks into a lasting automatic habit.
See, it really all comes down to these 3 pillars of focus. First, you master your mind with that single tasking approach and healthy habits. Second, you design your physical space to be a distraction-free zone. And third, you build a strategic plan to manage your time and your technology effectively.
But please remember this crucial point. This is not a one-size-fits-all prescription. These are building blocks. The real magic happens when you experiment, when you mix and match these ideas, and you build a personalized system that actually fits your unique work style and your personality.
So that leaves us with one final question. Looking at everything we've covered today, from designing your space to mastering your mind, what is the one single, small habit that you are going to start with today to build your own focus system?